There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Welcome back to the Bug Box live stream. It's Wednesday night, Small Project Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good week. Had a good Tuesday. We were here Monday night, so well, I hope you still had a good Monday night too. But anyway, it's Wednesday, so I do want to thank everybody for joining us. If you're watching us live or later, I do appreciate it. Don't forget to give the likes, shares, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you're part of any of those, go subscribe to us and so you get notifications. But tonight we're going to work on another stainless steel bracelet. I'm trying to build up my stainless steel stock because I didn't realize it was so low. We're going to actually work on a pretty big, beefy round mail stainless steel tonight. So that's what we're going to work on there. I did get in a bunch of my big clasps. This is what I use on my current bracelet that I use. I love these clasps. They're nice. And I haven't got them on the website yet, but I'm going to be posting those. I got about 100 of those for now. But they can be added to any of our bracelets and whatnot. I do enjoy them. They're all stainless steel. Pretty big and hefty. Oh, come on. Normally I like it because I can get it done easy. And that time it has to prove me wrong, right? The magic of live television. Live whatever. Alright, so let's get some music going here. Get my... what was I needing to change? Oh yeah, get off the old ugly face cam. Let's get over to the top cam here. Get some going. I didn't get much into this yet. I was trying to figure out what else I want to do. I finished up my other two bracelets earlier because I told you I was going to do some adjusting to the one on Monday night. And then the one I was working on just wasn't going to work at all, so I totally just went with the normal 4-in-1 on it with square and smaller outside. So it's a little different, but turned out pretty good. Right now I'm just going to work on pre-closing up a few of these, get us started. Round mail's pretty... this will actually be the biggest rings that I've ever used for round mail. I normally use 18 gauge, and most of the time I actually use 20 gauge. Right off the top of my head, I can't remember the ring size. Normally, I think the minimum AR on a round mail is 3.5, I think. I'm using about a 3.65, I think, myself right now. I grabbed some that was over 3.5. I was like, well, we'll just go with it and see what happens. So, hopefully, it'll work. We'll find out, I guess. But, yeah, today is Wednesday. Kind of a cloudy day here. Well, it started out sunny, but it got cloudy and the winds changed and it got cold. Well, cooler. Was it yesterday? I think we only hit like 81, which wasn't too bad. No. Yesterday was Tuesday, so yeah. We were actually pretty hot yesterday. We were like 97 yesterday. Like 99 on Monday. Today, actually, I guess the high was 81. And that was pretty much just all morning. We got down to like 78 overnight and got up to 81 around noon, and the winds changed, and it's kind of been slowly going down since then until about, I don't know, about an hour ago, and then it really started dropping. We're like 64 right now or something. I enjoy it, but I also hate it because this is the kind of weather when we go from 90 to 60 is normally when I get sick, and I really don't want to get sick right now. So I'm going to try to play it safe, and hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully I'll stay well enough. I'm like, if I can get sick, wait till after my birthday. Or if my birthday, that's fine, that's Monday. I'll be done with everything by then. Let's wait. I don't want to get sick yet. especially, well, Friday's the wife and I's anniversary. So we're gonna go out. I had a couple other plans I wanted to do. Things just weren't quite working out right. So, well, today I told her about I was wanting to rent a limo, and you know, we've never been in a limo. We skipped proms back in high school. As we went on a band trip instead, we had a choice: stay home and go to prom, or take a band trip. So we took the band trip. And when we got married, I mean, we had our 3 kids by the time we got married, so we just got married down and we rented out a park and just kind of had a little thing there. And our honeymoon was taking our kids back home, feeding them, and giving them a bath. So that was our honeymoon. Never really, you know, done a whole lot, but I want to do a little something extra. Like I said, I was wanting to get a limo, but holy moly, man, I never realized limos were that freaking expensive. You know, I'd kind of figured. I was like, okay, I don't want to spend $450 on a limo at most. I mean, that was kind of pushing it. It was once in a lifetime for us type thing. So, yeah, the minimum total for 4 hours was $650, and I was like, oh my lord, yeah, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I would love to. So I had to break that to the wife today and let her know, we're not going to be able to get a limo. I'm sorry. Which I think she's okay with, but it still would have been cool. Something I wanted to do, but yeah, I could, I mean, overall, I guess I don't know what, that kind of rate, but it broke down to like $170 an hour. I mean, that is renting a car, you got a driver and all that. So I kind of get it in a way, but yeah, I don't have that kind of money. Would be nice, but yeah, I'll just live my life without being in a limo. Alright, let's do a few more of these, and we'll start kind of putting together. We're going to do it. There's several ways, again, to do this weave. I'm just going to do kind of a normal 4-in-1 Euro version. Once I get it to my basic length, I'll start adding on to close it up, because basically it's just 4-in-1 wrapped. So, if you only do it 4 wide, that's what gives you a box weave. Do I have my box weave out here? No, I think I've moved it. I think it's over by the tumbler. But it's kind of basically the same as a box weave. You just add another 2 rings to it. It's 6 wide as 4-in-1, but the 6th one actually connects it all together. So, like I said, this will be the beefiest one I've ever done. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. Never tried it, so we're going to see what happens. I'm getting there. Maybe a few more. I don't want to overdo the pre-close, but yeah, so that's what's going to happen this weekend. Tomorrow we'll be here with our stream. We're going to get the inlay out tomorrow night. I do want to say next Thursday, we probably will not be streaming next Thursday. Because we have an event on Friday, and I'll be packing the trailer, getting all that stuff ready to go. So we can kind of, it's not a super early Friday start. We don't open till 5. It's 5 to 10. But they allow, you can start setting up at 10 in the morning. I'm going to get there a little bit early, because I'm going to try a few different things. So I'm going to have extra time. Normally when we get to the event, it's like, okay, you guys have an hour. Get or 2 hours. Get going, and it's pushing it for that. So I'm like, well, take our time, get set up, try some different things. I still need to go out and get another couple of grid walls this week. One thing I love grid walls. They're kind of a pain, but they're nice. I will say though, I'm kind of lucky in a way. We have a place here in town where I can go pick them up, because grid walls online are very expensive, and I'm sure it's because of the shipping. When I'm getting 2 foot by 6 foot grid walls. I think a 2-pack was like $70 online, and I can go down here in town. I think I can get 2 of them for under 40. I think they're about $18 each. So I'm like, yeah. And I mean, I've always done that, but I was trying to. I got so much going on, like I said, this week and last week, and well, even next Tuesday I've got another. I'm going to do a band event next Tuesday, so. Monday my birthday, Tuesday band, Wednesday, Thursday pack trailer, Friday, Saturday event, Sunday I'll be unloading the trailer from the event, Monday the birthday, Alright, now I just kept pre-closing. Let's go ahead and start putting this thing, getting some together, because I know we will not finish this during the stream, which I don't necessarily like. Normally on Wednesdays I want to normally finish up on the stream, but round nail can take a bit longer, using a lot more rings for the same length, you know, type thing. And if this turns out pretty decently, I might go with try to do a bracelet or a necklace out of it too. It just a lot of it's going to depend on how this comes out. Like I said, I've never done any this big before, and you know, I always forget to pull out comparison pieces. I'm an idiot sometimes. So I could have showed you this is what a normal one looks like, and this is what a big one looks like. I should have just grabbed the wife's. I cleaned hers. I've made her a sterling silver round nail, but it was 22 gauge wire. It's small. It's tiny, but she loves it. So definitely a lot smaller than this. But you know, it is what it is. Like everything else. What else is going on? Not that I still have some more. I've got 2 other style clasps coming in that are unlike a normal lobster clasp. I want to get some of the toggle clasps. I think Steampunk Garage has some that are skull styled, made out of titanium, which is even cooler. I'd love to get some to add to a few of the titanium pieces. That's one other thing I need to do. I've got some more. Actually, it's niobium. I anodized that up like months ago, and I still haven't used it. I was like, these are the colors I want. This is the weave I want. And yeah, I anodized the rings, and I still haven't made it up yet. So I need to get in and get that done too. There's a lot of things I want to get done for this next event. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but though I did find another event. We might actually have 2, early November, late November, and then early December. So I mean, we could have 3 or 4 more events before the year's out, which would be kind of nice. A little nerve-wracking, but get back into the flow of things here. And let me look around, make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I'm missing any chats anywhere yet, as long as Facebook is working. Well, on YouTube, Oh, that's there, okay. I thought I didn't have the YouTube chat up. I don't get a whole lot of comments on live on YouTube, but I do get comments later. And I've sent people to my videos going, hey, go check out this, when they've asked me a question on a weave or something I was doing. It's like, yeah, I did a video that is not detailed. I mean, none of these are like instructional, but sometimes I talk about tips and this and that while I'm building something, and sometimes little things like that help. I wish, who was it? This was several months ago. Somebody came in. We were working on a KVB, and somebody came in. I wish I could remember who it was. Said they were having problems getting KVB going, and was trying it. And I suggested doing King, or we were working on vertebrate, or not vertebrate, Viper Boris. Yeah, I think that's the name of it. And then there's a King version of it. Oops, I forgot to put rings on. And I told them, you know, try the King version, because I always seem to find doing the King version of that when I first learned the weave seemed to help. Because at first it was a little bit looser. When you got the one ring in, you can see what's going on. When you double it up, it helps, and that's what tightened it up. When you're using smaller rings, it's kind of tight right off the bat. And I never found out if it worked for her or not. It's like, man, I wish I could hear back from her. And if I remembered who it was, I guess I could go back through my videos and find out who posted. Because it was, you know, a post asking while we were doing it. But that was one thing I remember when I did my first case. Well, Viper Burris. I couldn't get it to work first time. I actually put it off. Came back about 2 months later, and I was like, I'm going to try this again. And I was like, well, I know what happened last time. Let me try the King version of it. And again, I don't know. Part of it could have been that I just put it off. And, you know, sometimes when you put something off and you come back to it, it just clicks. I don't know if it was necessarily that, though, because when I went back to it, I wasn't having the same issues. I actually built it just a bit differently, and that could have been my major problem there too. Was I needed to learn how to put it together, because I don't. You've heard me talk before. I don't use tutorials. I normally take a picture and try to deconstruct it and figure it out. I learn more when I do it that way. In a way, you know, it might take me longer than just reading through a tutorial, building it, and it would have been done. It might take twice as long to do it by trying to figure it out, but once I'm done, and sometimes it doesn't work, but you just go with it, and I've just put a non-closed one on there. So, yeah, we'll probably get a few inches into this. I'm not going to do the full length, so I can start closing it up, so I can kind of show how it'll start looking. But I want to get it good enough where we'll have some length to it so you can see it. Like I said, I wish I would have pulled out my other one. I could have pulled out the YSOR stock, but hopefully it will work. It's within the proper AR. Again, if it'll look good, that's a different question. Sometimes, because with this you can actually go with a much higher AR, but then it starts becoming a little more. If you're holding it up straight and it's dangling like this, it'll be more round, but if you lay it down, since it's so loose, it kind of wants to flatten out a little bit. I like it at the minimumer one, so it kind of, even when it's laying down, it still looks like round now. But, let's see. Ow, get on there. You know, like I said, we had a kind of a hard week this week. Last week, getting things done. I was sick, and the daughter has actually been sick for about 2 weeks now. She's starting, I think, to finally start feeling better, but it was unrelated to the sickness I had. She had a cold. She got tested and everything for COVID, and that wasn't it, but she had a cold. Now I think the son's got it now, which that's been a little bit nerve-wracking this week too, going okay, because she got sick, and it took him about a week and a half, 2 weeks before he finally started kind of getting sick. And he's older now. He didn't want to listen. Trying to get him to the doctor. It's like, you got to be a little more careful now, bud. Sicknesses after you've had a transplant are a little more concerning than normal. Still can't get him to go to the freaking doctor, but, well, I think the wife's going to kind of try to make him, but again, can't, you know, when he first started having his problems, he was just 20, 21, it was a lot easier to control him, per se, then. Now it's like, I get it, you want to do your own thing, but man, you got to take care of that health. So you're not the average person out there anymore. You're a little different with having a transplant. You got to watch things a little closer. But hopefully he'll be getting better, but that's the thing, it's like, he's gotten sick, it's like, oh, don't get sick, don't get sick. So he's kind of, I don't know if the wife actually said anything to him, but whenever I've been around, he's kind of quarantined himself in his own room, so, you know, I've taken him some things here and there, but trying to stay out of the sickness zone. I don't want sickness. And it's never a good time to get sick, but right now it's like anniversary, birthday, event, no sickness, please. Actually, I think the last event we were going to do in December before the pandemic hit, I actually got sick and we had to cancel that event, which sucked because it was an event that I bought 2 spaces, so I double paid for something we didn't even get to, which royally sucked. And then the pandemic hit, and that just put a booger in everything. But things are starting to hopefully get better here now. Alrighty. I guess that's good enough for now. And we'll just go ahead and start. Like I said, it's a normal 4-in-1 weave. We're just going to add on 1 row over here. That'll bring us up to row 4. And then I guess I could probably go ahead and do what is going to be pretty thick, because, you know, that would be a super tight 4 box weave there. I guess actually I can put on 2 rows at a time here, since I'm not really color coordinating anything. I should be able to do 2 rows at a time here. I already got some pre-closed, so I might have to close up some more, but we'll get about half. I'm probably going to do about half of this, and then we'll start doing the closing up of everything, and so you can get a view of it before we close. Because I mean, we still got a while, right? Yeah, we're only 20 minutes in, so we still got a little while before I'll need to worry about shutting down for the most part. But I do want to try to give you the view, and I like I said, I want to see it too because I've never tried this size ring before for a round mail, so it's going to be pretty thick. This actually might be a good wallet chain because it'd be nice and thick, it'd be big-ish. We'll find out soon, but I haven't done one round mail for a wallet chain yet. I've done plenty of other styles, JPLs, Byzantines, box, European or half Persians. I mean, I've done a ton. So this one actually, I'll have to see how it comes out. Like I said, we'll see what happens with it. Then I might have to do a welded version. I know that was one thing I didn't do with the wife's sterling silver one. I didn't weld it, and it's such tiny rings. I do have to fix it on occasion, but I keep trying to tell her. She likes to wear her jewelry to bed. It's like, if you do some of the aluminum stuff I've done, you know, that's okay to wear to bed, but don't wear your silver to bed. That's fine stuff, especially the fine silver. That stuff is really soft, you know, and it's like, it's good to wear. Don't wear it to bed. You got all those same weaves in aluminum. Wear those to bed. So, other than that, like I said, we got a few events coming up. I'm in middle of October right now. It looks fairly open. I think there's another one I could possibly get into, but I didn't want to push it. I guess I do have one more event in November or December. I can't even think of October for the band. I'm going to do a Tuesday. I'm going to go to it's a Mo West competition, Missouri Western. It's on a Tuesday. All the other competitions on the weekend, but they are further away. And I haven't been to Mo West in years. I used to go Mo West all the time. It's the closest to any of them though too. So I mean, that was kind of part of it. Helped save on gas, but plan on doing that one. Like I said, I haven't been there, and I think last time was probably 5 years ago I went to Mo West. So it's been a while. But go see some bands. Get my fix in of my band, because there are times, there have been days, I'm like, man, I really do miss doing band stuff, and they've all said I can come back and do it if I want. It's like, I don't want to come back in the middle, but, and I don't. I'm pretty happy with kind of putting that part behind me a bit. You know, I'm still going to miss it, but it is what it is. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Good. Yeah, tonight it's supposed to cool down. Tomorrow's high is like 61. Friday it's supposed to be a little rainy again with like a high of 62, and then back up into the 80s. It's like, really? Gotta get cruddy on the anniversary night, which I don't necessarily mind, but I didn't want it to be hot, so I'm hoping the next weekend isn't going to be hot for the event. It'll be a long event. We haven't. I'm trying to think. I don't actually think we've done a 12-hour event before. We've done some 2-day events, but because we normally the longest I guess would have been normally when we do the Smithville one, and there's another one we do down by the Smithville Dam that we've done before. We didn't do it this year though. The counts were just a little low, and I'm like, eh. But yeah, I think those two are probably the longest times. And most of the events that we do is 9 to 4, 9 to 5. And this one's going to be a 10 to 10. So it'll be definitely the longest one. It'll be, full into the night too. So I'm actually testing my lighting system because I think they wanted like $75 for power. And it's like, well, you have to kind of have power because you're going in the night. And I was like, I'm not spending that much. I'm already spending. To me, it's a huge booth fee. the biggest movie we've ever spent on one. Not that there's some others that I'd like to get into that are more, but when they, with the $75 for electricity charge, I was like, just for a few hours of lights, I've got a battery system back that I use here at the house. It's kind of portable. Put it on there. So I'm testing it out. I think it's going to be no problem. Like I said, I'm only going to need about 3-4 hours of light at the most, for the most part. So I'm just going to do my own because I'm not paying that price. Most times it's like $25 for electricity where most events we go to, and that's okay. I don't necessarily mind that, but I was like, $75? Sorry. I know I might be a little bit of a cheapskate. Alright, well that might be enough. Let's lay this out here and see if we got enough where we'll be able to... Yeah, we can start closing that up, I think, and then we'll get a good view of it, I think. Get a better idea. Let's go ahead and start closing her up then. And that's what's nice about it. It's kind of this, when we close it up, I'll be able to just come in, even though it's rounded, I'll still be able to come in and add to it and just extend it and then come back and wrap it again. But I do want to, like I said, give kind of a view of it for y'all before... Oh, I screwed up. I put a 3 or did a 6-in-1 there instead of a 4-in-1. Guess I'm glad I caught that now. Well, I would have caught it before I closed it because it wouldn't line up right. No biggie though. Pretty simple fix. What was the other night? Actually, what night was that? Was it? It wasn't Sunday, was it? It had to have been Sunday then. Sunday night, maybe. There was one day we were. Actually, the wife was laying down. She wasn't feeling all good. I was in the... What was going on that day? Because she wasn't here, actually, now I think about it. She was gone. Because she came home when I was about halfway through this movie. It's called Metal Lords. It was on Netflix. The preview of it looked kind of interesting. I mean, it is kind of a coming-of-age teenager flicking away. But I actually enjoyed that movie. I was kind of surprised. I've watched it not necessarily as a lark. It was just not a whole lot on there. I'd seen so many things. The preview looked decent enough, so I was like, why not? And I was actually kind of surprised that I liked it. And I was actually even more surprised, let's get this folded here, that the wife liked it. She ended up having to go back and watch the first part because she missed it. But she enjoyed it too, so I was like, interesting. And me and the wife, there are some movies that we like together, but I would say 80% of the movies that we watch between ourselves, she likes the chick flicks, I'm not into chick flicks. I like comedies, he's not big into comedies. So we're there, the only thing that we actually both liked, like I said, here and there, we both actually liked the Maze Runner. Now, I liked the first Maze Runner the best. The rest were okay, decent enough, but that was one movie that we actually went out on our anniversary to see a movie years ago when the first one came out, and just happened to be, that was what was playing. We didn't plan on going to see any particular movie. We were like, let's go see a movie. We went up to the movie theater, and let's go watch that. And then that happened to be the second one came out shortly after our anniversary again, so it became kind of our anniversary movie in a way. So, but that was one that we kind of liked. She likes the Hunger Games. I couldn't get into Hunger Games. I don't know what it was. Jennifer Lawrence, I'm not a big fan of hers, I guess, and it's not that she's a bad actress or anything, but I don't know, there's a lot of movies of hers that I just could never quite get into. Oh, what's the other one? She watches that vampire stuff all the time too, drives me nuts. Twilight. I remember, this must have been years and years and years ago, when those were just coming out. I remember that winter, it was around Turkey Day, around Turkey turkey time, around Thanksgiving. It was in November. At the time, we actually had the living room was all blocked off because we had found out. So this was probably about 4 years after we moved in, so quite a while ago, 15 years ago, maybe 14. And we had to have it blocked off. It was wintertime. There wasn't a whole lot we could do. We were going to have the front wall removed to get rid of the termite damage. We finally gotten taken care of the termites, gotten all that taken care of, but damage was there we had to take care of, so the front wall needed to be torn out. So that summer, or that winter, the living room was actually our bedroom, the master bedroom, and kind of turned it into a makeshift living room per se. And I remember, and this was definitely before the oldest moved out. I'm a grandpa by 4, so definitely a while ago. We were all in the bedroom, and they wanted to watch a movie, and they ended up putting that thing in. I ended up sleeping through it because I could not get into it. But and they were just making fun of me sleeping through the movie. And I just, like I said, I think it was actually the second one that we were watching that night. And yeah, like I said, I just couldn't get into it. I tried to watch them again, and I just have never been able to get into those Twilight movies. Just couldn't do it. People think I was nuts, but again, that's about like all these other things that people watch all the time now. What's that one? Son keeps telling me to watch. Game of Thrones. I've never still watched an episode of Game of Thrones. I take that back. I tried to watch a half an episode and I just couldn't get into it. Maybe it was, I didn't start at the beginning. It was kind of I don't even remember where it was. So I had no idea, no clue what was going on. And I just couldn't get into it. So that's looking beefy. It's going to be pretty big, but still, it's got a little squishy to it. I don't know. I mean, this is right on the verge of its AR. I don't know if I could go one smaller. But, so that's basically what it'll look like. I don't know if that's got a good view or not. That's round mail. And it's pretty thick. We're about ½ inch on that piece. I know the other one my wife's wearing is, it's under a 1/4 inch for sure by far. I mean, it's pretty small round because I think I could fit a 1/4 inch ring over it and it still plays around. I remember I took pictures of that when that happened. But yeah, now that I see this like that, I think this would actually make a pretty darn good wallet chain. A welded wallet chain round mail. Be a little pricey because it's going to use a lot of rings and welding takes a while, but I think that would be a good wallet chain the more I look at it. Now I'm going to have to think of what clasp I can use something this big. I don't know. This other one, how would that look there? It's kind of tiny. Yeah, I don't like that look very much for that. That'll be something I'll have to play around with this one. Could use one of these maybe. That might, it's a little thickish, a little bit wider than I'd really want it to be. I don't know, I have to play around and figure out what kind of clasp I want to put on this. Well, the small ones I normally just use a normal lobster clasp. I think those work fine. This one being so beefy, I gotta have a beefier clasp. Now maybe when I'm done this might work. I mean it's got about the width I'm looking for. Just over ½ inch. This is just a ½ inch, so again though, I do hate these when you got 6, so it's an even number, but bring 6 down into clasp form. Divide in half, you're into 3, you can't divide that into half. So anything like the round mail, inverted round mail, there's all kinds of them that are 3, multiples of 3 when you come down. So I'll have to continue to think about that. I'm trying to think. I've got I know 2 of the clasps that I have coming are not going to work at all. They're going to work. I bought those more for a flat weave. The other one, I'll have to see what it looks like, I guess, once I get it, and then maybe, I'll have to play with that one. But I'm kind of digging it. It's definitely thick. And it's going to be a bracelet that, this bracelet here is what? It's a ½ inch wide too. Now it's going to be taller than this. This is a flat box weave, so it's flat. But it's got the same width, so might not be too bad. That's why I'm more wondering about how it's going to feel on right now. I'll need about a good 4 inches of full round nail before I'll be able to really be able to tell what that's going to do. But, okay, let's go ahead and pre-close up some more so I can go ahead and extend it. I've got the look like I was wanting to show you just so you kind of seen what it is. It's got a little, like I said, a little bit of play, but nothing major. Nothing that I wouldn't expect if I went with a larger AR. I think you can do this up to like an AR of 6, but I can't imagine with a 6 AR. I don't think I've ever gone over 4 AR for myself when I've done this. And so, alrighty, where are we at here? Oh, I forgot to look for messages. Okay, I haven't missed any that I can see, and we're 35 minutes in. Actually making some pretty good progress. I didn't think we actually were that far along by now, so I'm not doing too shabby. And I will finish this up tonight, and this will probably be the last stainless steel piece, now that I'm thinking about it, before the next event. Get these cleaned up, priced, get them ready to package up so I can get them up for sale. And I'll get some pictures too. But I want to I haven't done anything on the inlay in 2 weeks now. It's driving me nuts. I pulled it out one day. I thought I was going to get some work on it. I forgot what happened that day. Something else came up and I never got a chance to get into it. Then I had to move it for orders. So we'll get it out tomorrow. Hopefully get a little bit more work on it done tomorrow. Maybe a little bit tonight. Doubtful. It kind of depends on how the rest of the night plays out for the most part. I gotta go get some housework done afterwards, and then the normal kitty thing. Well, a little more normal if you weren't here now. Marvel, our 13, 14-year-old cat. She went last week and found out she's got a hyperthyroidism. So she's now on a daily pill. So that adds to my nightly routine. I figured I'd do hers at night. I don't want to necessarily forget in the mornings. I already have to remember to do Buzz's shot half asleep. I don't want to have another medicine I got to get and forget. So I got that. But she's actually been doing pretty good. The UTI I think is going now, so she's not crying when she's going to the bathroom. She seems to be going to the bathroom a little more often. And her whole demeanor, she's letting me get pet on her belly again. She kind of stopped doing that. So I think she's definitely feeling a bit better now. I mean, it's only been a week, but I think she's feeling it. She was a happy little girl. Other than she still wants to go outside. Overall, I guess I'm kind of glad that she became an outside cat for a couple of years, because she was a really fat cat. She got way too big because she didn't want to go anywhere with the other cats in the house. She kind of secluded herself in a little cubby hole somewhere. Just come out, eat, go to the bathroom. And so she gained a lot of weight. And then she went outside. For that first summer, she started losing a lot of weight. I was a little concerned at first, but had her checked out. She was doing fine, just losing weight, and she got more to a healthy weight, and she's keeping that weight now. But I am also regulating her food a little more, because I've always had free-range cats for the most part when it comes to feeding. All of our cats before have always been really good at never really overeating. There's food there, they'd go get it. I give them food twice a day. They'd eat a little bit. They'd come back when it's time to eat, when they felt hungry again, but they never overate. But now Buzz was a problem. He liked to overeat. Marvel became overeating. And then my youngest daughter's cat, Gizzy, she is a stress eater. She is a stressful cat. She is just stressed out on everything. She's a lovely little turd, and she looks like a squirrel. Her fur is like squirrel. If you just took a picture of just her body, and you took a picture of a squirrel body without legs or anything that identifies as a cat or whatnot, you would swear it was a squirrel picture. lovely little cat, but she is so wound tight. Boy, she gets so stressed out over everything. It's crazy. But I call her she's my wide body. She is. She's not necessarily. I mean, she is big, but it's kind of weird. Normally when you see fat animals, their legs look very weird because they're like real close together, and then you got this fat body coming up around. With her, I don't know what it was. As she gained weight, her legs moved out because she doesn't. Her legs look normal in proportion to where her body is, like a normal cat. But then when you look at her overall, you're like, man, she's huge, but she's just wide body. So I call her the wide body. And out of that, this was a litter from Lola. It was a neighbor cat that got kicked out. They didn't get the cat fixed. We ended up fixing her. But before that happened, she had a couple litters. And this litter she had over here because the neighbors her owners just didn't care. So she had them over here, and we ended up keeping 2 from that litter. Both the boy and the girl picked one out. So they're sisters. The other one, the son's cat, is name is from a movie. It's The Cuteness. If you know what movie that's from, okay, we can talk. I know it's a stupid movie, but he watched it when he was younger, so he named the cat The Cuteness. And the sister, I call the wide body. This one, she has long legs, man. She's like a 4x4. She's not fat. She's got perfect weight, but her legs are long compared to her sisters, and they're standing next to each other. Overall, what's weird about that is they're standing beside each other. Their overall height on the back, if you were to measure their back from the floor when they're standing, is the same. They're the same height, but its legs are like 2.5 inches difference. Cuteness has long legs and Gizzy has little short stubby legs. It's so weird. And then the oldest, actually, because Lola had 2 litters here. I know she had like 3 litters over there before they kind of stopped giving a crap, I guess. I don't know what it was. Because actually, before she had her first 2 litters here, the last litter she had over there, she had them over there, but they put them outside in a box. And I guess Lola did not like that, so she ended up bringing the kittens over here. And she brought them over here, and then they started freaking out that day, going, have you seen Lola and her babies? Yeah, she'd bring them over here. They're in our basement. She walked in with them one day, had the door open, she just brought in a kitten, dropped it off, and left. And I was like, and she came back like 3 minutes later with a second one. And she had 2 in that litter. I guess at the time, our neighbor, she had a roommate, and the roommate was wanting to keep the girl from this litter. But it was like, well, then why throw them outside? I mean, granted, summer it's not bad, but still. And so they came over and got them. They did put them in the garage, which was a little bit better. But from that litter was Boomer. And I've talked about Boomer before. He was my outside buddy. I miss that cat. I love all my cats, but he loved being outside with me. He was like a little dog. I mean, Buzz is like a dog outside too, but Boomer, he was just, he was such a crazy little cat. But yeah, that was from that litter too. Like I said, it was about August when she had that litter. She brought them over here, and then they took them back. And during that whole winter, I assumed that they had given away this other cat, the other kitten from that litter, because I didn't see her or the other cat. I didn't know. Well, I guess I did know it was a boy, but Lola would come over and eat on occasion, but I never seen the kitten, so I assumed somebody had given the kitten. They'd given the kitten away or something. And so it was about 5 months later, because that would have been October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, because it was March of the next year, after winter was starting to subside. I seen Lola over in the neighbor's yard, walking around to the back of the yard, and there was a cat following her. And sure enough, it was her other kitten baby. He was 6 months old, still nursing. Because they weren't. That was the thing. they kicked the cats out with Buzz and Lola. They weren't feeding them. They just kicked them out and let them fend for themselves. So we were kind of feeding them. So Lola would come over here and get food, but Boomer was such a shy cat because he was never around people for the most part. You know, she grew up. He grew up with his mom in a garage with no human contact, so he was very shy. And when we started noticing, I started putting more food over there since he was going to be there eating, and he started getting a little bit bigger. And then Lola got him to come up over the fence one day and come over. She came in like she just brought in like, hey, I'm home. And she came in. She got her food. We already had Buzz at this time. We'd already taken him in because he was about passed away with them a couple times. And she came in and kind of eating, and I look over there and I see this other cat, and I'm like, he came over the fence, and he's staring at me, looking in the back door, very timid, you know, just kind of, I don't know. And Mom was over there eating, and she meowed at him, and I guess it was cat talk or whatever, but he was like, okay, he come running in there, and he started eating. And this became a kind of a thing for that day. It happened like 3 times that day. And she came in once with him. She like I don't know what it was. She went over there to eat. She normally would go over. Cats have their habits, but she pulled this weird thing this one time that day. And I was like, what was that for? Because she came running in. She grabbed one piece of food, but took 2 steps over from the bowl. And at the time the cat didn't have a name, but Boomer came up there and started eating out of the bowl. And she looked at him, and she bolted out the back door, like she was on fire. I was like, what was that about? Boomer was a little freaked out because Mama just took off, and so he kind of jogs to the back door, outside because he didn't want to be inside by himself. He hadn't been there. He's looking around. Mama's gone. And you could see in his face, he was scared. And, you know, I was talking to him, I kind of gave him a little bit of petting. So I was able to kind of chat with him and kind of calm him down a little bit. And he didn't want to come back in for 2 days. Lola disappeared. So, I mean, she basically came over, said, here, look at this food, it looks good. Gone. Disappeared. So for 2 days, he sat around behind our house, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know where to go because he always followed Mama around. But I was giving him food and stuff, and Mama showed back up, and he went to try to nurse Mama after only 2 days, and Mama was like, no, you have food now, you have a family now, you're done feeding on me. She hissed at him, batted him in the head. He's like, what was going on? And so over the next several months, we didn't plan on keeping him. He stayed outside. I just kept giving him some food because, you know, we got stray cats around here. I hate seeing them. You know, most of the time, if they're fat, but if they're looking skinny like they're not getting food, I will normally try to get them some food. I know there's a few that roam around the neighborhood that are neighborhood or cats that go inside at night and stuff, and they're getting fed. They're healthy. They got collars on and stuff. But for him, I was like that. And then, well, the youngest finally named, or the wife of the youngest finally named him one day, and he kind of became our cat. But he was such a little fart, man. I got a few pictures of him hanging out and things that he did. I definitely miss it. I mean, I always miss all my animals through the years, you know, but there's something weird about him. He had giant paws, man. He was such a lovable little fart, other than you could not touch his belly. That was weird. His brother, Buzz, loves his belly being pet. To this day, still loves it. He was just up on the desk a little bit ago. Pet my belly. Pet my belly. But Boomer boy, it was like he could read your mind. If you thought, man, that belly looks pretty, he would like cover it up immediately. Like, you're looking at my belly. Don't do it. Don't look at my belly. The only time you get close to his belly is if you went to pick him up, and he didn't like to be held. He wasn't a cat that you could pick up and carry around easily. And he'd get up on your lap. But even after, you know, he was about 10 years old, I guess, when he got sick and had to be put down. But over those 10 years, he could never figure out the lap hole. You know, I'd cross my legs and there's that little lap hole. All the other cats figure out how to walk around it and lay in that lap hole. that was, he was such, I almost wish we would have named him Jethro, because he was just so dumb sometimes. He could never figure out the lap hole. He would try and try, but he could never figure out how to lay down on the lap. He would fall through the hole. And most of the time when he would try and he'd fall through, he could at least stand on the couch or chair or whatever was in between. And so he'd end up just sitting there and just hang over the leg because he couldn't figure out how to sit around the lap hole. It cracked me up because he would try, but he just could not figure out a lap hole for life. For the life of him, it was so funny seeing him try to do that. There was one day, I literally 10 minutes walking around, he'd fall in, get up, and he still continued to try, even after 10 years, trying to figure out a lap hole, but he couldn't figure it out. Like I said, whenever I go outside and do any lawn work, he was just right there with me, like a little dog. He'd just follow me around the yard. If I was to be in one place for any length of time, he'd just kind of hang out. If I was cutting down trees, he'd find a little hole in the trees to all the limbs I cut down. He'd crawl in the middle of it. I miss that boy. I miss him. Where are we at here? We're almost coming up on 7. It is going to shrink up more once we curl it, so I have to take that into account also. Where are we at here? 50 minutes, so we can get a little bit more done. I got it pre-closed. Yeah, let's go ahead and just continue lengthening it out. Get a good length on it, and then I'll finish closing, I guess. Since I got pre-closed. So I did miss my halfway point again. Boy, like I said, I get why a lot of, I have a little bitty stream, not very many viewers, blah blah blah, but I do get why now. There's some other people's streams that I watch. The daughter, for years and years, we've watched the what is that thing on YouTube, Rhett and Link. She likes the Rhett and Link thing, and they do some pretty fun stuff at times. So we used to watch it all the time when we eat, before she'd go to bed for school and stuff years ago. And when they first started, they were small, and then they started getting more people and directors or whatnot to help run things, and I kind of get it, because there were sometimes I was like, man, I wish I had somebody who could sit here and push buttons and control sounds and do all this other little things that I try to do as my single person. And if I ever had, hundreds of viewers, then maybe I'd have to think about that. Don't have to worry about it when it's, I think I've got maybe, looks like 3 viewers right now between all the platforms. So I do thank you all that are out there watching. I don't know who you are since we're not making comments, but that's okay. Like I said, that's not a big thing. If you're just here hanging out, I'm good with that. If you don't want to chat, no biggie. But it would be nice to have a little person that could run that kind of stuff. I'm constantly forgetting this or that and need reminders. And, well, like I said Monday, I'm the type of person that forgets to eat. I still had even somebody ask me the other day, after I was talking about it Monday. It was actually a friend from one of my posts. They were like, how do you actually forget to eat? How's that a thing? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like, don't you get hungry? I'm like, yes. But it's never like starving hungry. It's just like, I'm hungry. But until my stomach starts kind of feeling cruddy, is when I think about it. But when I'm feeling cruddy, I don't want to eat. When the crudiness goes away, I'm right back to doing what I was doing, working on, so then I forget again. The only person that seems to understand me is my dad. Because he's the same way, I guess. I didn't find this out till a couple years ago. I was chatting with him one day, and I was like, yeah, I was feeling like crap. And he's like, well, this and that. And I was like, no, it's because I'm stupid and I forget to eat. And at the time, my dad had it on a speakerphone, and my stepmom. Thought the cat brung in something. And she was on there, and she started laughing. She's like, yeah, he's the same way. He's the same way. I don't know how y'all forget to eat. Y'all crazy. They live down south, so she's got that Alabama twang, too. But yeah, I forget to eat. Like I said, there for years, it was never necessarily a big thing, because, the wife would constantly remind me, because she would make dinner or something, say, hey. But now that she's had to go on her with her diabetes, she's on a special diet and all this stuff, so her foods are totally different than our foods. So normally, and plus her health, so she doesn't make meals for us anymore, and I have no problem with that. I have no problem cooking for myself if I remember. That's the biggest thing, and that's what I've told her. It's like, you don't have to make me something, but remind me to eat. And she does on occasion, but she has her own issues. So, but yeah, I mean that's why when she was able to cook dinner and stuff, there would be times where I'd totally forget to eat out during lunch, breakfast, and all that, and she'd be like, oh, it's dinner time. I was like, oh crap, did I eat today? No, I didn't. Glad she made food. But yeah, I am horrible at trying to remember to eat, because I hate eating in the morning. I am not a morning eater at all. I need a good hour and a half before I can think about putting food in me. If I try to eat early like that, I just feel nauseous the rest of the day. I need time to wake up. I normally get up. I have about 20 ounces of water for the first hour as I'm waking up. I drink all my water, and then I can start feeling a little hungry. But by the time I start waking up, I'm already got in my head what my plans are. What do I need to get done? And so once I kind of get to that waking point, I just start getting into that stuff and then forgetting it. Now there is occasions when, like, I had the son with his, he's got to go get blood work once a month. It was a little more often there when he was having his issues a few months ago. But normally he has to go out once a month, and they go out early for that. He'd normally bring me back a biscuit or something for breakfast, and I'm like, oh, I haven't been up long enough, so I'll end up eating it later. But it was last week they bought me one, and I totally forgot about it. Well, they had said something to me, but it was right after I woke up, and then totally forgot about it. Sat in the microwave all day. Did you eat brisket? Oh, crap, no. Crap, I haven't eaten today either. So, yeah, I know it sounds weird, but yeah, I forget to eat often. Alright, well, we got our length. I might actually have to shorten it up a bit. I'm not totally sure yet. Where are we at in our time? We're almost there. We got 4 or 5 minutes. I guess I'll just pre-close up a few more here while we finish up. And then, like I said, we're just going to add 2 to this side and then closing on up. Then we'll be done. Hopefully this weekend I'll get some pictures of all the stainless. I've got a few pieces over here that have been cleaned. Other than the 2 that I finished up this week, I haven't cleaned those. Haven't tumbled them yet. The rest of tumbled. I've only got a couple pieces over here though, but I'll get pictures of them hopefully this weekend and get them posted up. Again, a quick reminder, next Thursday we won't be streaming, more than likely. We should be streaming Monday, Wednesday, but Thursday I'm definitely going to I'll be packing up late that night. And I probably could, but I am going to have a mess everywhere as I'm packing, because, like I said, I'm going to take a few extra things to try, different setup, so it's not going to be a typical outing, but we'll be here tomorrow, and then next Monday, Wednesday, and yep. Like I said, Monday's my birthday. No, it's the next Monday. Yeah, because this weekend's, my weekends are all screwed up. Like I said, trying to remember everything here. It's always the crazy time of the year, and it used to be worse when I did the band stuff. We skipped a lot of anniversaries to do band stuff, so. And granted, we had to skip some just because of our health issues. That's why I wanted to do something this year, because the last time we did anything, we actually postponed. I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras here since we're almost done. Get to the bouquet cam. When we, 7 years ago? Might have been 8 years ago now. We were busy with band stuff during our anniversary. We would put it off. We ended up going to a cabin, like at the end of October, beginning of November. It was cold. I had a good time, don't get me wrong, but that was the last time we'd actually done anything. It was kind of, we had fun, but I tell you what, when we got back, I was so worn out because of the wife's health issues. And since then, we really hadn't done anything. The band stuff took not necessarily priority, but with her health issues, that's why I always have a hard time planning anything. And I wanted to surprise her this weekend, but I felt I need to talk to her just because I don't know how she's going to feel. She's actually been having a fairly good week, so I'm happy. I just hope it stays that way for a couple more days. So that's what we're going on this weekend for us. So we're at our hour almost, yeah. So I do want to thank everybody again for joining us. If you're watching us live here, I know I've got a few viewers that have been watching. I do thank you very much for being here with us. If you're watching us later, I appreciate that too. Don't forget to give the like, shares, thumbs up. You can do that at any time. They all help us get out there. Find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Streaming every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central. Don't forget to check out a few other places. Chain Reaction has some great rings. Check them out. Go over and check out. He hasn't streamed for a while, but Sean over at Mailworks, I think he's got his computer back up and going, so I'm hoping we're going to see some streams from him soon. So go over there, check those out. If you have any questions for me at any time, like I said, drop me a line. I got plenty of etching to do. If you want some of these new clasps we've got here, these are nice. I can engrave on either side of these on the back of my bracelet. If I can show it, I don't know how well if it will show up, but I've got my logo on the back of this. I'm trying to look at the thing. If I twist it a little bit, you can see the Booga box on there. I've got my little logo on the back of it. Pretty easy, quick to do. I can do that with those too. So anyway, you all have a great Wednesday night, and we will see you tomorrow night at 7:30. So peace.